This is Piers Morgan Live. Are you prepared to say now, for the record, that Mother Jones is simply inventing these statistics, that these mass shootings that they have recorded in great detail, and which are published on their website, simply didn't happen? Is that your position?
No, I didn't say they didn't happen. I said that they use they don't use a consistent standard. And so if
they do.
Make
They've
it
made
look
it very
like
clear what
more
their criteria
occurring
is.
now than there used to be.
But there are more occurring now,
Piers.
John Lott. There are. No. There have been. Let me repeat for you.
Let me
repeat for you. Since 1982.
But you can keep on repeating Mother Jones. Look,
please.
Piers, if you
allow
really
me to repeat,
want to rely on
you
Mother Jones,
you can't
that's
do
up
what
to
you
to
always do, which is
saying,
simply spin these statistics. Let me repeat to you the facts. Since 1982, there have now been 70 mass shootings in America. Of those, 30 have happened since 2006. Of those,
Piers.
13 in the last 20 months. Of those 13, 3 have been 3 of the worst in modern American history.
Yelling isn't going to make those numbers right. Look,
what does make them wrong, John Lott?
Professor Fox at Northeastern University, others have looked at this, and they would warn you to be careful, not to use those numbers.
But Piers, let's get back to today's shooting.
People would go and argue that there hasn't been that increase over time, not just myself.
All right, but Piers,
okay, Ben Ferguson.
Let's get back. Let me
ask you this, Ben. Let me ask you this, Ben.
But
in
the
last
problem here is that
wait
these
a second, please,
gun-free zones
John
create
Lott,
a
let me turn to
magnet.
Ben Ferguson. John Lott, please, one moment. Ben Ferguson. Aurora was the biggest single shooting in America by one shooter in terms of number of people that he hit, 70 people. Sandy Hook that came a few months later. Sandy Hook that came a few months later was the worst school shooting in American history. We've now seen the second worst military base shooting in modern American history. At what point, given that all 3 were committed by people, well, they're not gun-free zones, are they, John Lott?
But Piers,
when you have a place like today that is crawling in armed security,
in Aurora, Colorado.
Hold on. Let me say this.
It is a heavily guarded municipal base.
Piers, let me say this, because this is important for us to look at today. Hold on, everybody. Just give me a second, okay? You look at what happened today, and there are 2 ways to look at this. You want to blame the AR-15, and you think that if we ban this AR-15, federally ban it, that somehow that is going to fix the issue. I look at it differently, Piers, and I look at it from this perspective. When you allow these places to go where the only people there that can protect these individuals are those at the gate, at the front door with the gun, the MPs that are there. Same thing that happened in Fort Hood. Once this guy, and we don't know yet how he infiltrated it, okay? We know that the guys that were there minding their own business, doing their jobs, played by the rules. They did not bring a gun in. They are not allowed to, based on an executive order by Bill Clinton in 1993. When you allow a military base to be able to be infiltrated by an individual like this, and at that point he has free reign until those people with guns at the gate can find him. And look how many hours we had a lockdown today, and we had a lot of information about not knowing how many shooters there were or where they were or if they had them all.
But Ben,
you continue to look at this. Let me finish this. This is important. You continue to look at this based on the gun is evil. I say don't set up people, whether it be a movie theater or a school or a military base, for failure by having a gun-free zone unless you are a law enforcement official at that base, at that movie theater, at that school.
But Ben, with respect, it's not a gun-free zone. The Washington Navy base that was hit today is
then why did Bill
crawling
Clinton
in armed security. Wait a minute. The very same armed security you guys have called for after Sandy Hook, after Aurora. You wanted armed guards at movie theaters, armed guards at schools. There were armed guards at the naval base, and it made absolutely no difference.
I haven't called for that.
This is the reason why we are in favor. This is the reason why we're not calling for armed guards, because they cannot work, and today is proof of that. We are saying that if you are in the United States Navy and we trust you with Navy ships and war, why the hell wouldn't we trust you to carry your weapon to work with you when we trust you with top secret information and coordinates and tracking of ships in the world? I'm not missing the point. You're obsessed with the AR-15.
Here's the problem with armed guards.
You are addressing members of the armed forces. All the victims today were civilians.